What can you tell us about the growing number of military suicides that have been reported over the past few months? I would imagine that there are plenty of soldiers who just can't live with themselves in terms of what they are being told, not asked, told to do.
Well, you're right in one sense that there are soldiers committing suicide, but we've been told by soldiers, some of them sergeants and others at high levels, that if a soldier speaks out, like Pat Tillman did in Afghanistan, that famous football player who became an Army Ranger, and he found out that we were just in Afghanistan to protect 30 times the amount of poppy fields that we've replanted now. The Taliban destroyed the poppy fields, and U.S. bankers, the New York bankers, were losing $300 million a month. So that's why we went into Afghanistan to replant the poppy fields and destroy the Taliban. And now we've planted 30 times the poppy fields now. And Pat Tillman found out that's the reason we're there, to protect these poppy fields for the international banksters. And he said he was going to come home and take over the anti-war movement. In the next few days, he got shot in the head 3 times, in the forehead 3 times, was assassinated. And then I had a female, a good young lady from Prescott, Arizona, who was a Mormon, who went there as a translator for the torture prisons that they had in Afghanistan and Iraq, and she spent 3 days in there trying to interpret for these people being tortured, and she came out and said, "I'm not going to do this anymore, no way, no how." So they put her on guard duty on the gate, and a few days later she allegedly committed suicide with her rifle. So what we've been told by soldiers coming back, and some of them officers, is that if you speak out and say you're not going to shoot this child in the head anymore, I'm not doing that anymore, then in the next few days you're suicided, and they write to your folks and tell them that you committed suicide because they don't want you coming home and telling these stories.
Be that as it may, if you're smart, you don't speak out in a venue in which they know what you're going to do. You speak out by actually doing it.
Yeah, these 7 soldiers that have come home and told us about executing men, women, and children on command with their revolvers and their rifles say they can't sleep at night. They're having trouble sleeping. They wake up screaming that they see a little boy's head blow up and a little girl's head blow up that they just executed. And so they're coming back with PTSD really severe.
The solution may be to have a formal mutiny. Maybe the commanders need to be arrested for issuing illegal orders to go out and murder innocent people.
Well, they're being told in their training, we've been told, that these Muslims are not human, that they're not human and they have no souls. So they're being trained that way so that they will easily shoot them in the head and do this genocide that we're doing in those areas, so the communist Zionists can take over, and they have taken over. Of course, they control our military today.